And we are back for round 4. Josh won the die roll, so we're waiting for him to decide whether or not to keep. I'm definitely keeping this hand, as is Josh. This has some pretty good tools. We're on the draw. Hopefully we'll draw some more specific cards for the matchup, but Caryatid into some removal into Elspeth seems fairly decent. Josh leads off with a turn 1 Akroan Crusader. And we draw a Siege Rhino, which is great. I'll lead off with the Llanowar. If we naturally draw a forest, I'll play that over fetching. But otherwise, we're going to fetch for most likely a plains next turn, so we have access to double white if we need it. Okay, Swift Spirit comes down. Get attacked for 2, I presume, because Josh didn't cast any. Okay, yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to, because I have the second Caryatid for white, I'll just fetch a forest to reduce the amount of damage that I'm taking from my lands. And we'll cast this Caryatid and pass the turn. Hopefully we draw an untapped land and can slam Siege Rhino next turn. Okay, I'm not blocking. There we go. It appears that Josh has a very creature-heavy draw. I'm guessing he doesn't have, or maybe God's Willing. I'm guessing he has at least one God's Willing in his hand. And I'm guessing he has at least one Jeskai Ascendancy in his hand and no untapped lands. But we will find out shortly. Just because of the way that he's played this game and the way that the Jeskai Dex curve works. Alright, there's a tapped land. Drying Mantle. Probably his draw for the turn, or he would have played it sooner. Last turn, I mean. Okay. Retraction Helix. So I'm getting hit for 8. But Josh only has 1 card in hand and I can recast the Siege Rhino. Oh, with a temple. Perfect. I will keep this on top so I can cast Elspeth next turn. White, colorless, black. Bouncing Siege Rhino, generally not the best idea. I mean, it was clearly the right line in this case, but I'm not sure if it'll end up getting Josh where he needs to be. This is an Ascendancy. So I suspect the last card in Josh's hand is something like a God's Willing, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I will block a Swift Spear. I'm not blocking the favorite Hoplite because I don't want Josh to target it with anything. Okay. So I have to think here. I have a downfall. I can cast Caryatid and then downfall something. But I think that making a bunch of tokens with Elspeth is just going to be the best option. Except for the fact that that line loses to God's Willing plus God's Willing plus pumps for the favored hoplite, because Pro White gets past Rhino and Elspeth tokens, and then just pump it. Actually, don't even have to pump it because of the heroic trigger plus ascendancy. So I'm actually going to take the safe line and cast the Caryatid. This lets me hold up removal, and then next turn I can cast Elspeth with a Caryatid up, and that prevents my opponent from killing me with God's Willing. Temple? Sure. What I think that indicates is that Josh does not have a God's Willing in hand, because otherwise he can discard the temple to the loot from Ascendancy. I will block. Ability resolved. Ability resolves. In response, we're going to use an Abzan Charm here, because Abzan Charm is the less flexible removal spell in this matchup. Hero's Downfall can hit anything. Abzan Charm, the thing has to be pumped. So, alright, it resolves. So Josh doesn't have a protection spell, and we're clear to resolve the Elspeth here. Which is just extremely good. And I'll go ahead and attack with the Siege Rhino. Alright. Game's pretty much over. I don't think Josh has... If Josh's last two cards are exactly Springleaf Drum Retraction Helix, we have a problem. Otherwise, I don't think that there's any issue. Oh, okay, we're good. That appears to just be game. I'll plus first, and then attack with everything, and I have the Abzan Charms to lock it up. So that should be the end of this game, and we'll go to sideboarding. Blocks. Blocks. That's fine. Oops. I will attempt to put counters on one of the, or actually put a counter on each of the unblocked soldiers. And black. And that ought to do it. I didn't even need to put counters, but because Rhino was already trampling over for 2, and then that's 3-4, which is lethal. Josh didn't have good blocks there. Like, he couldn't, because of the Rhino's trample, I didn't even have to have Zen Charm, but alright, we're gonna sideboard. Anyways, it was water under the bridge. I had such a huge resource advantage there. We're gonna sideboard like we always sideboard. Bring in all of the creature removal, take out the slow cards. like the Planeswalkers, and the conditional cards like the Abzan Charms. Good. We're on game 2. This hand is definitely keepable. We will lead with the Temple of Silence. Okay. Swiftspear is not as bad as something like Crusader. We'll bottom the land that we don't need. Alright. Okay. It's fine. We'll exile the Favorite Hoplite when we get to untap. Okay. Do I want... The question here is, do I want to fetch? And I believe the answer is no. Because if I draw... No, it's not true. I want to fetch to thin my deck. Definitely getting a forest because of Courser. If I get a Plains, I can't cast Courser next turn if I decide to. So, alright, Josh's third land enters tapped. Casts in a Crone Crusader, passes the turn. I'm just gonna get Courser into play. Good. The second black source is on top of my library, so that I can downfall. Josh doesn't have anything interesting. Well, I'll go ahead and Sorin then. Wow. I hate to shuffle the Rhino away, but I think I just have to cast Sorin. Courser trigger, gotta let that resolve. And I don't know if I want to minus Sorin or plus it. I think I want to minus it to increase the chance that it actually lives. I don't really need the life gain right now. I'm not attacking with Courser anyways, and I definitely need the, I definitely want the extra body. Attacking Sorin. I don't think he can kill the Courser if I single block. So they just bounce, but there's no real harm in double blocking, so I'll go ahead and do that. Definitely kill the Swiftspear. Okay, he is planning on killing the Courser. Interesting. Defiant Strike makes Swiftspear 3/3. Then need one more pump spell. Retraction Helix on the Akroan Crusader, bouncing the Vampire token and triggering Prowess. Nice. That is reasonable. I'm going to play the Wastes so I can cast a removal spell. I think I want to go ahead and cash this Sorin in for a Vampire to threaten to trade, and then I'll just pass the turn. I'm still in a good position. because my draws are much more impactful than Josh's in this situation. In this matchup in general. Okay, well, that's getting met with a removal spell, for sure. Okay, good. I don't want Josh drawing any extra cards. I assume his last card is a land. I'll block. I don't know why he didn't attack with the other soldier. That doesn't make much sense to me. I don't care about casting Downfall next turn. I'm just going to Thoughtseize. Alright, it's a land. I'm looking for threat. Don't need another removal spell. I just need an answer to what Josh is doing. Or, sorry, I don't need an answer. I need a threat of my own. Okay. Drum Trigger's Prowess, I'm taking 2, that's fine. No blocks. Well, that's not the worst draw, but it's not great. That's definitely getting bottomed. I'm going to wait for Josh to cast a spell before I remove the Swiftspear. If he just attacks, I can block and then remove it in response to something. Okay. Or I just kill the Hoplite. The Hoplite's much more of a problem than the Swiftspear. We already know what's in his hand. I'm going to go ahead and get aggressive with this vampire now that I don't have a removal spell. I can just block what the carry did. If Josh attacks with... Alright, there we go. So I'll take 1. Oh, that's perfect. I can keep the beatdown train going. If we draw a Siege Rhino, or something to that effect. Okay, another land. I might still have held that for Jeskai Ascendancy. Oh wow, that's perfect. It's absolutely fantastic draw. It should lock the game up if I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trigger raid. Okay. There we go. I have 8 power on in the air, so okay, he's at 11. It's fine. I get to gain 3, so it'll be 11 to 3. I'll go ahead and save this Bow Blight. There's no reason for me to use it right now, and it lets me effectively counter a Dragon Mail or something, which could draw Josh into more gas. Alright, got the match. Thanks for watching. We are currently 3-1, going into round 5. So stay tuned. The next video will be the final round of this series.